So for this exercise to work EQ atmosphere, I talk to a group that has something in common, a team in common, a role in common, a culture in common. Now, this being a training group as it is, we only have interests perhaps in common and some things that overlap. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and choose the role of coach. It's something that you either do directly or have done, or at least are fairly familiar with. Everybody around the table I know has coached, understands coaching, whether you're certified or not is irrelevant. And so I am now talking to a collective of 8 coaches who understands and kind of holds the role of coach as unique, all right? So what I want you to do is think about the role of coaching and what you need to be successful as a coach. When you step into that role of coach, what's that like, and what do you most need to serve that role completely? And I want you to look at that role through the lens of EQ, and the EQI model specifically. And so I would like for you as a group to come together and have a discussion among the 8 of you. And here are some EQ activity cards. There's nothing new on these cards that you haven't seen. It's actually the definitions of the 15 EQ elements. What I want you to do as a group is actually to do a forced sort of these 15 elements into 3 different groups of 5. And so of these 15, there are going to be 5 that are most essential. It's the 5 EQ elements that you have to have. If you're going to be an effective coach, these are essential. And it's a career derailer if you don't have these 5. Which means that there's going to be a middle 5, the middle benchers. Which means there's also a bottom 5, which are nice to have. I mean, if you have them, that's fine. There might even be some in there that for whatever reason you decide, no, we don't like it. You do not want this, and so that goes down at the bottom. So a forced sorting, top 5, middle 5, bottom 5, and just agree among the 8 of you how you would sort those 5, 5, and 5. Go do it.
Empathy, number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the first pile?
Sorry.
Top 5.
Sympathy.
Okay.
Interpersonal relationships.
Just like a card game.
I really like reality testing too,
Mhm.
to asking
Mhm.
questions.
Right.
Agreed. Mhm.
So just keep going.
Flexibility.
Flexibility?
Mhm.
Where's flexibility?
Right here.
Okay.
Curiosity.
assertiveness a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, help them through presence.
Okay.
Helping
Agree.
to them.
Okay, so the
through their own
easiest,
problems.
so the top is easiest to do, then the bottom 5 are the next easiest to do?
Okay.
So what are the ones you don't care about at all? Don't.
That's about interpersonal skills being top 5. I mean,
Let's leave these here for the moment. Okay.
Coaching is such, I mean, like, that would be
So you
the
wanna move-
ability to express your emotions and teach others to do so. In doing that, I would
There's
think
some of
it'd
the
be hard.
domains also, the emotion, you play in the emotional domain also, so I think you're right.
So you want to move that, let's at least move that up. Would you?
my perspective on coaching is that it's more focused on the other person.
Yeah, that's why.
Um, And then you're kind of like a one-on-one facilitator of their journey. So I would hesitate to put this in the top 5, and I also, I don't know what
I think,
these I'd take
I think
out.
maybe this is more than knowing your own stuff that's going on and at least
Yeah.
understanding it's
Yeah.
happening to you if you get hooked or not.
Yeah, what do you get
Yeah.
triggered by?
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So maybe that one maybe go into more of the top pile.
Okay,
That's
so,
pretty
so just at a cursory look, is there anything compelling that bugs you here right now? Because the next is going to be slight swaps.
I like the top 5.
Okay.
I don't like the personal relationships in the top 5.
Okay.
For the same reason that Chip was saying, it's about your coachee, right? It's not about having a relationship with him in terms of friendship or
Maybe because empathy is there already, that
So
would
what,
be enough.
so if you took that out,
Well,
which
wait,
one?
I hear you, and read the definition again real quick, because I think I didn't. until I
Interpersonal
just read it.
relationship relates to your ability and tendency to give and receive trust and compassion and to establish and maintain mutually satisfying personal relationships.
trust and compassion. Yes, keep it there.
Okay. All right. Is there anything in the bottom 5 that really bugs you? Okay, so if we have So we have general agreement of the top 5, bottom 5.
Okay, and so let me spin this, here's the next level down. What I want you to do is rank order the top 5 and the bottom 5. The top 5 and the bottom 5. So the middle 5 you can ignore, but I want you to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, so
That's all you need.
you do a bubble sort. Is this more important than this?
Oh, yeah, over the top, I was going to the bottom,
Yes.
sorry.
Yep. So, okay, so I just did that. Is personal more important than empathy? Or is empathy still one?
I wouldn't change the bottom, I would put that as the second one.
Okay. Is reality testing more important than interpersonal relationship or empathy?
Now, and so let's get these things up. And so what'd you come up with? Number 1 was what?
Interpersonal relationship?
Okay, and so, interpersonal relationship is number 1. How about 2?
Empathy?
Empathy is 2. How about 3?
Reality testing?
All right, so we've got reality testing.
Flexibility.
Is 3 4?
Is 3.
Flexibility is
Flexibility is 4.
Okay, and flexibility is 4. How about 5?
Emotional self-awareness.
Okay, and so self-awareness is 5. Now, how about 11? Read me that column. What's 11? Independence is 11, 12.
Self-actualization,
Self-actualization is 12, 13.
emotional expression,
Emotional expression is 13, 14.
problem solving,
Problem solving. And last is what?
social responsibility.
And so social responsibility is in last place. All right. Now, when you're doing this exercise called the EQ atmosphere, whether you did it from the perspective of coaching, but this could be, realize the process could be from the perspective of this team, or my role as a leader, or what we as a culture value, you can fill that in so that the collective actually holds something in common. And you go through the process of talking about, so what's important here? What's required here? What are we in trouble if we don't have? And actually, frankly, what do we not care so much about? And the debate, the structure, the moving around, the no, I think it's this, no, I think, okay, yeah, you're right, no, I think, and that process is important. What you wind up with is, okay, this. And so independent of whatever I might hold as valuable, as important, whatever I might have scored highly in, or what I might personally struggle with, this is what we as a collective have decided, okay, this is what makes, in this case, a good coach. Now, this is an interesting snapshot because then you can compare your own results. Because now, when it comes time for me to decide, now what do I work on my own personal EQ development? What do I work on? Well, it turns out one of my lowest ones was social responsibility. And so if I went by score, then I would want to work on that social responsibility. It was a low score. It turns out I'm most interested in coaching, and that's not even that important to coaching. So in fact, it's last place, which means it might be totally expendable. Perhaps some of the ones that wind up at the bottom could, more than expendable, you need not to have it. You need to check that at the door. That's not what we're about here, perhaps. So that doesn't feel as hot anymore. That doesn't feel as urgent. Actually, empathy for me was a middle bencher. It was one of the ones that was in the middle. Like, yeah, I have it fine, but I don't actively use it. But maybe that's the one I should pick and really exercise, because apparently it's pretty important in this role. And so how am I going to move the dial most effectively? How am I going to step into coaching most effectively? Well, making sure that I've got some of these that are up at the top and that I have ready access to them, my skills are sharp, would best serve me if stepping into the coaching role is most important.